this has been a great conference. We truly enjoyed 3 days, and it flowed like a wind. Really, it was a state of flow. Excellent hospitality for everyone, and great feedback, and also personally, great feedback, and many thanks to you. Now, I had my own notes and summary from the last 2 days. There are a number of common topics as well. And indeed, the main theme of the conference was also bridging the continents, bridging the markets. And as we see, this has been a real bridging of the two associations as well. And I think this has been a great value to bring the two associations together, and mind share, experience share. There are some distinct differences, but also many common topics. So it has been a great 2 days of sharing. Hopefully these will continue with regards to the common summits and conferences. So before I deliver and make them sweat a bit with the questions, I said last, but I didn't say it's finished. So the last 2 days started with the opening remarks of the Turkish government representatives, where we heard from the minister, we heard from the president's finance office, we heard from the capital markets board chairman, and also we had the chance to interact with them during the breaks. What has come out of these? I just try to list them here. The importance of emerging technologies and fintech, information security, the importance of it, green and sustainable finance, regulations that are trying to cope, but actually trying to catch up and running after, of course, and a totally new financial system is emerging with these new developments. And then during the following panels, I will not mention the name of the panels for the sake of time, but we've discussed the importance of data for strategy, and then importance of corporate governance and sustainability, how the regions and markets learn and adapt from each other. And there was also a prominent case study of emerging markets creating a best practice thanks to MKK launching e-voting more than 10 years now. And it's also been now implemented in other regions, including Indonesia. And really what I felt, I didn't know Indonesia implemented at the time, but I felt in 2020 when we were all locked down, and I was obviously managing the business at the time, and I was also locked down in Cairo instead of Istanbul for good. What I realized, Turkish markets went seamlessly with the corporate governance and the general meetings, thanks to the e-voting. So that was a real best practice. I think this is also a great confidence case, self-confidence case for us, because emerging markets should not only always follow the rest of the world and adopt. We can, and we did actually make best practices and put this into life, which will then be taken and adopted by others. Then, in the same panel, we've also seen that from AXTA, Bruce shared the example of the change of the logo, reflecting the digitalization, right? So whether we think it is here or not, it is actually becoming an archetype in our thinking anyway. It is becoming into our conscious and subconscious thinking. So it is there, and it's also reflected even in the logos. Then we moved into the CSDs in the digital era and discussed the changing role of the CSDs with fintech, the traditional and digital securities. That was when Abdulla was moderating the panel. But at the same time, while staying competitive, the importance of balancing the pros and cons. So it's not only rosy picture ahead. We not only run and jump, obviously we have to take it very seriously, assess it, and also implemented with the required precautions. Then the discussion was led into potential for hybrid solutions, importance of AI in terms of risk management, data analysis, and client services, and also the importance of the awareness of the employees of CSDs about all these new financial technologies and its potential, along with the executives of the financial institutions and market infrastructure. I think one key sentence was, regulations are humble, but financial technologies are hyperactive. This really struck me, and it is the case because regulators are not the innovators, right? Innovators are on the other side. But those innovations needs to be regulated. So it's by nature, regulations are coming after the innovations. But it is best if the regulations can close the space in between the unregulated time and the regulated time. So with regards to crypto, I think likes of FTX collapse was a outcome of non-regulation rather than regulation. Today, Colin, over his sharings with regards to ISA, he mentioned 11 working groups, and 4 of them were directly related with digital assets and ESGs. And he also posed the question of how to move from T1, T+1 to T+0. I think the solution is already there. I think it's a matter of how and when to implement accordingly. Then we talk about, in detail, the sustainability and corporate governance. And we come to the bridging of, again, the traditional and the digital assets and how to be able to serve them. So after this summary, Abdulla, I know that you also have taken some notes. Is there anything that you would like to add that I might have missed?
As usual, you always impress us, Dr. Günsel. A funny thing that just happened, and I realized that I really lost the focus, and when Mr. Ali was doing the presentation or the speech and Turkey, so I was waiting for my translation machine. So I looked at Dr. Günsel, I told him, do you want one? And he smiled. And I realized, okay, no, he knows Turkey. Anyway, so I think it's a great opportunity. It's from my bottom of my heart to thank Dr. Ekrem for his generosity and the team as well who was behind this amazing arrangement of the summit. It's from A to Z. I think it's the biggest challenge for any upcoming events that's going to happen in the future. Thank you for everything, Doctor. You did a proper wrap-up, I think, Doctor, but you left us with no more comments or choice to talk about. I would like to mention that at the macro level, for me, those 2 days was like a kind of on-the-job training on 2 levels, macro and micro level. On the macro level, I was carefully hearing His Excellency, the Deputy Minister of Treasury and Finance, when he talked about the statistics, how the government vision towards inflation and all of the macro and microeconomic. Then followed by Professor Coxell. He talked about, I'm sure that most of us use the translation headphones, so his speech was long, however, it was very fruitful. That was at macro level. Going back to the networking, I think it was the best networking I've ever done since I've joined this sector. And I think I have also met lots of system vendors, lots of colleagues across AECSD and AMEDA, some of the members who joined. So on the network level, it was very great. So I'm already now 2 months booked for the upcoming meetings and even calls. It was due to those 2 days of event. So I think we also covered in reality, the slogan of this summit. So, as Doctor was saying, that he does the bridging physically and also from works on daily basis. So this is what we did during the session. I'm sure that most of the audience agree with me. So on digital assets, we heard from our colleagues also. It was in, I think, Jem's session. Was it Mr. Omar, if I'm not mistaken? He was talking about the AI, AI is very important. It makes the cost efficiency positively implemented. However, what I learned also that it also requires proper resources that also makes a kind of balance. I shall mention that for the first time, I didn't miss any session except for the Jum'ah prayer. Sorry for that. Doesn't mean that I don't pray, but I had to stay here and do some networking, and I did my prayer here. So thank you for your offer and proposal. So I must focus on some of the speakers. I liked Colin's presentation because for me it was a kind of gap analysis and the roadmap for the future. So ESA's principle was something attached to my heart back early in 2000, and we could see from his presentation that the level that ESA organization reached. I learned from everyone in this room. I must say that I learned a lot from Mr. Bros as well, for him being very serious, for him being very honest, and that's why it's an advantage, and sometimes for some it's a disadvantage. But I would take the advantage part. Thank you, Bros, for your serious comments. And also want to tackle on what Mr. Marcos said. That was from during the Mr. Gem's session. So he was talking about number of applications that London Stock Exchange received when it comes to digital assets offering. That means there is a demand, and as you said, the figure you gave, Doctor, was in 2030, we're talking about 16 trillion, and we have, I think, another 6 years. 6 years, I think it's not long for us to be ready legally and also technically. Jim also focused on the risk, and also the cybersecurity was really very important. So I want to stop here. I think I jumped a little bit.
Thank you very much, Abdulla. That was the full picture. I'm not pushing you for a summary, Dr. Ekrem. MKK sets not only from a hospitality perspective, but also from a services scope perspective, a very high bar for any CSD. Obviously, it's not happening over the night. It happens both with the intention, imagination, but also with the regulations and government also mandates and support. So, on the personal front, I had the pleasure to get your book, which is your PhD thesis, which I was happily surprised because that was also feeding me with the content, which talks about the digital maturity and the corporate governance and measures the companies in Turkey with regards to their success rate. Obviously, the success of MKK shows a very high digital maturity, but from a market perspective and from also the CSD's point of view, and as also the chairman of AECSD, if you can also share your comments and views and the future projection with regards to digital maturity and corporate governance, I'll be very much appreciated.
Okay, thanks a lot. First of all, actually it's for me the best session because it's the last session. After so much effort with all our team, of course it was really a wonderful organization for us. We worked a lot, but we are so happy, I think all of us. First of all, again, thanks to all speakers who shared their experiences and knowledge with all of us, because we will develop our business all together. We cannot do by just ourselves some things. We are integrating, sharing, and developing all together. and bridging. And if I start from your question, actually, as you told, by the way, thanks for reading it. It was the result was that actually digital maturity is directly affecting also corporate governance, especially for industrial sectors, financial sectors. For services sectors, it's not so much because digitalization is in everywhere. Digitizing some things in service sector is much more related with the service quality. But in other companies, generally, most of the companies, maybe for all companies, digital maturity is directly affecting also corporate governance. Actually, when I was working for my thesis, by the way, thanks to also, of course, the business and all the operations and infrastructure and opportunities of MKK, because if you don't have data, you cannot work on it. As we mentioned about the data to information and information to strategy, and strategy, maybe we can see strategy to manage correctly whatever you work on it, risk or whatever. Since we have already the data via collecting over PDP, because companies are reporting their data, their information actually is that they are publishing information on PDP. If you structure it and if you convert it to analyzable structure, then you can take some outputs. The main point of my work is that we collected all the data over PDP and analyzed it, and then we had a result. So, and now it's also another part of me. Actually, we have, as Ayzar Hanım told, we have now an index and data analysis platform showing also in Turkish capital markets the corporate governance maturity of companies and to hold the sector, and also we can see the tendency of it year by year. It's also another important thing, I think. From here, I want to come some other concepts, actually. I like concepts so much because we are doing our business with operations, but to operate correctly, you should have idea and you should have concepts on behind of it, to name it, to call it, to deeply analyze it. For example, I want to just give an example. In Turkish, we say for securitization, menkul kıymetleştirme. Menkul kıymet. Actually, it's Arabic.
Menkul.
Menkul, nakil, menkul, transfer. So, kıymet kaime. So, menkul kıymet means transferable, replacement, something. So, but in Western countries, in English, it's used securitization, making something secure. Güvencelendirme in Turkish. I can say it for Turkish people here. Güvencelendirme in Western languages, they are calling it securitization, güvencelendirme. But in Turkish, we say menkul kıymetleştirme, comes from Arabic, to make it transferable, replace and transferable.
So it's very interesting because what you say in the AMEDA culture is mobilized.
Yeah, mobilized. Yes.
In the Western culture, it is
Securitization, güvencelendirme. If it directly translate the concept securitization, we should say it güvencelendirme. So, but we call menkul kıymetleştirme. So, for example, for crypto assets, it's just at the center of securitization because cryptography is maybe the most complex securitization. So, and before changing some things, changing our world and changing our business and our business models, I think we should firstly understand what we are doing. So this concept is actually just at the center of our business. Securitization, and actually the Western naming and the Eastern naming both, we should think about them together. We should make it secure and transferable and like tokenization. It should take the real assets, transferable version, dematerialization. Actually, all the concepts are just around of this central points. I will just, when you were talking in the previous session, actually I couldn't have time to prepare some things to say. When you were talking, I was writing something. I just written some concepts here. How can, just to summarize, as I said, these concepts are just at the center and all others are around them, turning. What are these concepts? So I will just tell seven of them. Actually, digitalization is already all of us aware of it and talking and discussing about it by years. Integration, we should integrate our markets. We are telling bridging markets, bridging continents, so we should integrate different systems, different assets, different worlds, different countries somehow. Diversification, we are finding some new instruments. We are discussing new instruments, new services. We should diversify. And securitization, as I told actually, we should make it secure, securitize. Globalization, so we are here from more than 40 countries. We should somehow find common ways to standardize it, to share it, to connect it. Dematerialization, actually, it's also old-fashioned word, and actually it's just the beginning of everything. Dematerialization is just the beginning point for CSTs, of course, and regulation. We are doing everything. To do everything secure, it should be regulated, 100%. And after writing all these concepts, how can we find a new name, for example, to call it all of these concepts together? It's correct or not, but I found three words together. Distributed centralization of securitization. I don't know if it's correct naming or not, but distributed centralization of securitization, not decentralized. Because actually I believe if there is state, you cannot decentralize. Yeah. We are all working with the regulations and with laws. The law of capital markets, the law of commercial market, they are giving responsibilities according to that law. If the
this is also both on the practical side, it's more like the...
Dr. The mic is on.
So what you just said on the practical side almost defines the private and permissioned DLT, blockchain, the distributed centralized securitization, which is very, very interesting. And thank you very much for all these seven. And number 7 is also a nice number.
Yes, I like it. That's why.
And that's what human memory can also remember, Max. That is also excellent. That also summarizes like differentiation, integration, diversification, securitization, globalization, dematerialization, and regulation. So those are the touching points of every day of our lives to do our day-to-day and also new schemes.
If I may, in 60 seconds, and to conclude, I think everyone's waiting for the family photo. And I must say that one of the aspects that we have also learned, the Egyptian, where Mr. Yasser Zazab mentioned their experience and handling the government fixed income, I think is something very interesting. I was also listening to our colleagues from Saudi Arabia, Mr. Bender, and I was looking at one of the statistics that around $7 billion have been distributed as a cash dividend. That was the half semi-annual for 2024. So these figures, and it represents #1 in the world when it comes to half yearly distribution. So that means we have lots of interest. We can have foreign investment attraction. We can have this bridging, this networking, and there is a need to have the connectivity so if you look at the example that Mr. Ibrahim just a few minutes ago presented, the West Africa experience, and since 1996 we are talking about 9 countries, unified currency, and all of these challenges have been overcome, unified, and the regulation as well as the technology have been married. So if this was possible, that means that we can be united and then take the CSD role to the next step going forward. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Abdulla. Dr. Ekrem, I think now is the time for you to be fully relieved for your closing remarks for the summit.
And I'm asking Mr. Ali to give him 3 weeks holiday, if it is okay. 4? Great, thank you.
Actually, if I have 4 weeks holidays, it might be another good idea. Maybe I can come with works to finish in 4 years. Because we were always thinking with new things to innovate, to change, to produce, and for development actually. So it was really very valuable. I think there's nothing to say much more. Everything was discussed. Everything actually was discussed and mentioned and shared here, and all are really very valuable, of course. We will be thinking about all of them again and again. Maybe just to remember, all CSDs are also very busy with their business, with their daily operations. Somehow we should find the way to change, to find new business models, or to concentrate also for efficiency. We are discussing, but when we go back to our business, all operations are taking us. And by the way, I'm really very happy also with our close relation with Capital Markets Board of Turkey, actually. Thanks a lot for all the support and help to our chairperson, Ali Sambey. We are always, I was mentioning that CSDs are like self-regulatory companies. We are, for example, for crypto assets, maybe the most hot topic thing we will be working in the near future will be that. We are always working so close to each other because regulations should be very well prepared according to the real life, and the real life and the operation should be very well designed with regulator side. As I said, everything was really very good. Thanks a lot for contribution and participation even from Oxta, from Americas. Thanks a lot. It was really very valuable for us. Bruce Butterill, thanks a lot. Yeah, and Issa, the presentation was really very beneficial for all of us, even for in the general board meeting of the WFC and also here. Thanks a lot. And for all participations from all other countries, they were really so valuable for all of us. We are tired, but we are so happy to see you here. Thanks a lot.
Teşekkür doktor.
Okay.
Thank you very much
Tell me
for
photo
that.
time,
For our last,
Hep beraber herhalde.
yes, we will, but we just have something else in line before we do. We do indeed have a family photo coming up, but before that, we want to notify our attendees that Nigeria will be the host of the next annual AMEDA meeting, which will be held next year. So we have a short video on that. Let's watch the video first, and then I will invite all our participants for a final family photo.
Welcome to Nigeria, the vibrant heartbeat of Africa. With a dynamic population of over 200 million people, Nigeria is the continent's most populous nation. Get ready to experience the warmth of our hospitality, the richness of our culture, and the excitement of our unstoppable energy. Nigeria's culture is as diverse as its people. From the ancient kingdoms to the modern metropolises, we offer an unparalleled blend of tradition and innovation. Our world-renowned hospitality is rooted in a spirit of togetherness, where every guest is treated like family. From the busy streets of Lagos to the serene beauty of our hinterlands, Nigeria welcomes you with open arms. Nigeria's creative influence continues to shape the global landscape as a powerhouse in music, entertainment, and fashion. The movie industry, Nollywood ranks as one of the world's largest film industries with iconic pictures. Our fashion scene is setting international trends. With abundant natural resources, Nigeria's potential in solid minerals and agriculture is immense. We're leading efforts to harness these sectors for sustainable growth. Nigeria is home to Africa's largest tech ecosystem, a hub of innovation and creativity. Our vibrant tech community is driving change with groundbreaking solutions in fintech, agritech, and healthcare, transforming industries and creating opportunities for the next generation. Across Nigeria, investments in physical infrastructure are accelerating growth. Modern roads, railways, and industrial parks are linking regions and boosting trade, making Nigeria a more connected and competitive economy. These developments are laying the groundwork for a brighter future. In healthcare, we are building stronger systems to serve our people and the world, positioning Nigeria as a future medical hub for Africa. Complementing Nigeria's physical infrastructure is its robust financial market. The fintech revolution is also expanding Nigeria's financial landscape, connecting millions to banking services and reshaping how businesses and individuals access finance. Institutions like CSCS provide the market infrastructure that ensure the growth and stability of the Nigerian capital market by providing depository, clearing, and settlement services. With its vast resources, dynamic population, and strategic location, Nigeria is poised for greatness. Don't miss the chance to be part of Nigeria's unstoppable rise. Join us for the AMEDA conference in April 2025. Register now and experience the heartbeat of Africa's prosperity. Nigeria, where passion meets opportunity.
Okay, now, lastly, as I said, we will have a family photo, but first let's have a photo with 4 of our very important, valuable participants here. Mr. Ali İhsan Güngör, the Executive Vice President, Vice Chairman of Capital Markets Board of Turkey, Chairman of the Board of Directors, Merkezi Kayıt Kuruluşu, and also Dr. Ekrem ARIKAN, Mr. Abdulla Jaffar ABDIN, and our last moderator for today, Mr. Osman Günsel TOPBAŞ. Please welcome to the stage for the family photo. Brilliant.